Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to look at Metacell Genesis, a card game currently seeking your help on Kickstarter. Now this game is for 2 to 4 players, appropriate for ages 8 and up, with the average playtime being about 30 minutes. Now this game is a little like Rummy and a little like Uno. It's like Rummy in the sense that you'll be playing cards in order to go out, but it's also like Uno in the sense that some cards have special abilities. Unlike either game, this game even includes some characters that will give you some special abilities. So let's just take a brief moment to look at the components and show you what I mean. Okay, now before we get started, it's worth noting that because the game is currently seeking funding through Kickstarter, that everything that you see here may or may not be subject to change, and may or may not be fully representative of the final product. With that being said, my copy was made through the Game Crafter, and it looks pretty done to me. Everything here, even the box and the rules and the cards, they all look pretty final to me, and I'm very satisfied with how everything looks. So if the final version does look like this, then I think the developer will be on the right track. Now the game comes with a deck of cards and some character cards. In the deck you'll find 18 purple cards, 18 blue cards, 18 red cards, and 18 green cards. Just to sum these guys up, players will be trying to play these cards from their hand to create sets to put in front of them as their score pile, and the person that goes out will win that particular match. These white cards will act as wild cards. They can be purple, blue, red, or green, but not black. Finally, you've got these black cards here. These are your attack cards. When a player plays a black card on someone else, they'll be able to discard this attack card along with another one of these cards from an opponent's score pile, just basically reducing their final score. There are 9 of these cards and 9 of these cards. Finally, you've got some character cards over here. There's a total of 4, 1 for each of these primary colors up here. And I'll explain these more in depth later, but suffice it to say that each of these cards has some sort of special ability. Now, setting up the game is pretty easy. All you'll do is you'll take the deck of cards, shuffle them up, and deal 7 cards to each player. In this example, player 1 down here has 7, and player 2 up here has 7. After that, you'll go ahead and take the 4 character cards, shuffle those up, and put them face down. Then you'll decide who will go first. You can use whatever method you want to, in all honesty. So once a player has the first player ability, what they'll do is they'll go ahead and just take one of these cards from the character pile and just put that right before them. And then the other player will do the same thing. This is their character for the entire game, and the other ones are just simply discarded. Now, at the beginning of a player's turn, a player will simply take one card from the deck and add it to their hand. After that, they'll have a choice. They can do one of 3 things. They can play a match, they can play a black card, or opt to do nothing. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this person's hand to see what they're able to do. Now, it looks like they have 2 red cards, 3 green cards, a blue card, and a white and a black card. And again, a player can either play a match, they can play a black card, or they can do nothing. Playing a black card only works when the other person has something in their score pile, and I'll explain that in a minute. So we're just going to go ahead and make a match here. In order to make a match, you have to have 3 or more cards of the same color. In this case, there is a wild card, so the player could use this in conjunction with their 2 reds to play a set of 3 reds, or they can play 3 green cards, or possibly even 4 green cards. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. We'll just do 4 green cards. And the score piles will just be to the right of each player here. Now, scoring doesn't actually occur until the end of the game, so these will just stay here, sort of observed until then. Okay, now I mentioned at the beginning of this video that these characters had some type of special ability, each one being unique. Whenever a player makes a match of their color, in this case the first player here made a match with green cards, or played a set with green cards, and because of that they get to observe their special ability. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. So this character is the chef, and his special ability is a rage ability. After you make a green match, you may reveal the top 4 cards of the deck. If it is a green or white card, add it to the match and place the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck. So we'll go ahead and do that now just to see what we get. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 green cards. It's very lucky for player 1. So he gets to take these 2 green cards, add it to this set, and place the remaining ones on the bottom of the score pile. Once a player has made a match or played a black card or do nothing, they'll end their turn and the next player will make their turn. Again, at the beginning of their turn, they'll go ahead and draw 1 card from the deck to add to their hand. And just to take a quick peek at this, I don't know, we've got 2 purple here. We'll just do 3 blue, just to see what they get. He could play this white wild card if he wanted to. Let's just say he doesn't want to for whatever reason. This is just for example purposes. So this special ability reads, Responsive Evolution. Let's see if I can zoom in on this one. Alright, now after you make a blue match, you may add 1 card from your hand to any match set you currently have. This must be of the same color. Well, this ability isn't too helpful right now because it doesn't... I mean, if he had more blue cards to play, he would. But as he adds more to his score pile, he'll be able to add a red here or a green there or whatever the case may be to add to these cards, and that will assist him in going out. But for right now, he's going to opt to pass on that special ability, and the next player will take their turn. Okay, now at the start of this player's turn, again, they draw a card from the deck to add to their hand, and now we're going to show you what playing a black card looks like. So what happens is, they'll just simply take a black card from their hand, put it into the discard pile, then they'll get to choose another card in their opponent's score pile, take that, and then add that to the discard pile. And this has a huge effect at the end of the game when scoring actually occurs. Now just a quick side note about matching. Whenever you play a set of cards from your hand, you'll just simply add to any existing colored sets that may be there. So in this case, let's say there are 3 blue cards in this score pile. And let's say that this chef character, this player 1, during the course of the game played these 3 blue cards from their hand to create another set. They would just simply add to that here like so. And that's pretty much all there is to it. This will continue back and forth with players taking turns until one of 2 things happen. Either a player will go out, or there'll be no more cards left in the draw deck. When that happens, players will start adding up their scores. They'll take a look at each individual set in their score pile and assign it a point value. There's a nice little chart in the manual to show you how to do that. Basically, you'll just take the number of cards in that particular set, add them up, and assign it a quick subtotal. In this example, there are 2 blue cards. So for 2 cards, that is worth 1 point. There is a set of red up here. There's 4 cards, so that would be 4 is equal to 5, so 5 points. Same thing down here. This player will do the same thing with their cards. The more cards you have in a set, the higher the point total. And as you can see, if you manage to get 18 cards in a set, you'll get a whopping 68 points. So you're going to be trying to add more and more cards to a particular color if at all possible. You'll also want to factor in any cards remaining in people's hands whenever another player goes out. It's minus 1 point for each card left in a person's hand. So you'll take all of these points, subtract out any remaining cards, take all of these points. If you don't have any cards left over, then it's 0, obviously. And whoever has the higher point value at the end of the game will win. Now before I go, I just wanted to briefly touch on the other 2 characters that I didn't really touch on. Basically, the red one here reads, after you make a red match, you may take a bonus turn after you finish the current one, essentially playing 2 turns in a row. And you've got this purple character here, Foresight of Mind. After you make a violet match, you may look at the top 4 cards of the deck. Place 1 in your hand and the rest on the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Alright, Metacell Genesis. Pretty easy to play and family friendly. If you like what you see here, you can check out the game and support it on Kickstarter. I'll have links in the below description. Or you can check out my written preview at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.